Daniel Waters had just won custody of his 5-year-old daughter, Luceton. Days later, she vanished without a trace. The court called him a devoted father. Her mother called him dangerous. But no one imagined that the man who fought so hard for his daughter would be the one to take her into the shadows. What began as a routine custody battle would spiral into a chilling manhunt across 3 states. Uncovering a past, Daniel tried to erase a truth no one saw coming. In a quiet suburb of Springfield, Missouri, a heartbreaking mystery began on a rainy Thursday afternoon. 5-year-old Lucy Waters was last seen stepping into a gray sedan outside her preschool. The man behind the wheel was her father, Daniel Waters, who had recently won full custody after a bitter legal battle. To most of the neighbors, Daniel seemed like a regular single dad, kept to himself, worked odd jobs, and drove an old car with a noisy muffler. But the custody ruling surprised everyone, especially Lucy's mother, Karen. She had fought fiercely in court, claiming Daniel was unstable and dangerous. The judge disagreed, citing lack of evidence. Within a week, Lucy was gone. Local police first suspected a runaway parent situation. Maybe Daniel had taken Lucy and disappeared. But as days turned into weeks, no one could find them. Daniel's bank account was untouched. His phone went dark. His apartment? Abandoned, everything left behind except Lucy's favorite stuffed bunny, torn and left on the kitchen floor. Investigators dug into Daniel's past and quickly found cracks. He had a sealed juvenile record, a few arrests in his 20s. Oddest of all, he'd changed his name 3 years prior. His real name was Matthew Darnell, and he'd been investigated in a child neglect case in Colorado, but never charged. Now then came the first twist. A park ranger 200 miles away in Arkansas reported a strange sighting, a man matching Daniel. Its description camping off-grid with a small child. By the time authorities arrived, the campsite was empty. But they found a handwritten note in a burned-out fire pit. Just for words, "You never should have won." As the media frenzy grew, Lucy's face was everywhere on billboards, news, and social media. Tips poured in, but none led to a break. Then, nearly 3 months later, a major clue emerged. A woman in rural Tennessee called police after finding a pink raincoat with the name Lucy stitched inside. It was buried behind her shed, along with a child's shoe. The woman swore she had no idea how the items got there. But her nephew, a man named Joel Darnell, had been staying with her briefly around the time Lucy vanished. Joel was Daniel's brother. Investigators closed in. Surveillance from a nearby gas station showed Joel filling up a gas can the same day Lucy was last seen in Missouri. Under pressure, Joel confessed. Daniel had shown up with Lucy, frantic and desperate. He wanted to disappear for good, start over somewhere no one would find them. Joel helped him get supplies and gave him the keys to an abandoned hunting cabin deep in the Appalachian woods. But by the time authorities reached the cabin, it had burned to the ground. No bodies, no sign of Lucy or Daniel. Only a melted bracelet with Lucy's name engraved. Months passed. Leads dried up. Then one snowy morning, a miracle. A woman in Vermont called 911 after spotting a confused little girl walking alone near a gas station. She said her name was Lucy. She was malnourished, scared, and barely spoke. But DNA confirmed the impossible. She was the missing girl. Daniel was gone. No trace. Authorities believe he may have staged the cabin fire and escaped again, possibly using a fake identity.